Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into a really compelling work of socially conscious fiction.
hmm
It's called Once Upon a Time in Bharatha Desham, a title that, immediately brings ancient India to mind.
Right, that whole rich cultural landscape.
Exactly. And we're unpacking an insightful book review of this work by Mahesh and Kotakare. It's been described not just as a story, but more like a meditation on timeless struggles of justice, equality, and ethical governance.
It's quite a description.
It is. So our mission, really, for this deep dive is to pull out the key nuggets of knowledge from this review, helping you understand how these ancient tales can actually hold surprising relevance for today.
And what's so fascinating here, I think, is how this book, set way back in ancient India, uses that heritage, that culture, to explore issues that feel very, very contemporary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really invites you, the reader, to think about, social norms today, personal transformation, and that constant tension, that push and pull between tradition and, well, reform.
That's a powerful setup. Okay, so let's unpack this. At its heart, the book is a collection of fictional tales. What is it about the central narrative, maybe the main character's journey, that makes it click, makes it so resonant?
Well, the core revolves around this visionary young prince. He ascends to the throne, and this is the key part. He dares to challenge these really oppressive customs that have, governed his kingdom for centuries.
Okay, challenging the status quo.
Exactly. And what's insightful isn't just that he challenges them, but how the book explores the huge cost, personal and societal, of doing that. It shows the kind of deep-seated resistance you face when trying to change things that old.
Yeah.
It really makes you think, what kind of leader even takes that on?
Right. So he's driven by this burning sense of justice and compassion, as the review puts it. What specific structures, these entrenched things, does the book show him trying to dismantle?
So he goes right after caste-based discrimination, that really ingrained social hierarchy,
Yeah.
dictating status, opportunity, everything. And he confronts entrenched patriarchy where, well, male authority just dominates. The book really shows his efforts to bring in something more equitable, rooted in dignity, in compassion.
Okay.
And the structure helps, too. It's described as these self-contained, yet thematically interconnected stories.
Right.
So that lets the author explore different sides of this big struggle, adding layers to the whole thing.
That structure sounds really thoughtful. And speaking of depth, the review makes a point about the author, Mahesh N. Kotakare. He's based in Bangalore.
Yes, that's right.
And he brings this blend of literary sensibility and social insight. How does his background kind of feed into the storytelling we're talking about?
Well, his background covers both literature and human behavior.
Yeah.
And that definitely enriches the storytelling. It gives it this feeling of authenticity, and real purpose. His intent seems pretty clear. Using fiction not just to entertain, but to actually provoke thought, stir up some empathy, and importantly, inspire dialogue about the kind of society we want.
So it's active engagement.
Yeah, exactly. It's not passive.
And how does that come across in his writing voice? How is it just described?
The review calls it lyrical and powerful, which is interesting, right? It means he manages to ground the story in that rich Indian tradition,
Okay.
while also being unafraid to really question, sometimes quite unflinchingly, these inherited injustices.
So it's not just pretty words.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. It's using language to build a bridge, almost, making these tough social truths feel accessible, feel resonant for you, the reader. That gives it that unflinching moral clarity they mentioned.
It sounds like the book is really working on multiple levels then. The review highlights this idea that, okay, the setting's ancient, but the issues are deeply modern. What are some of those issues, and how does the book handle the protagonist's role, his struggle with them?
You're right. The issues are surprisingly current. You see oppression. You see the dangers of just, blindly following tradition. And that resistance to change that always seems to pop up. And the prince, the main character, he's not shown as some perfect, idealized ruler. No.
No, he's portrayed as a deeply human leader torn between his inherited role and his inner conscience. Very relatable in a way. He becomes this kind of vessel to explore the costs, the responsibilities of leadership, especially when the world is, well, morally complex.
Makes those ancient problems feel very current,
Exactly.
very contemporary.
And the writing style itself sounds like it's key to bringing that connection to life.
Absolutely. It's described as poetic, vivid, and emotionally resonant. The prose apparently flows gently, but it has this sort of rhythmic force that just pulls you in.
Right.
Scenes are painted with a real cinematic quality. You can almost picture it.
Yeah.
The dusty lanes of a village, the somber corridors of the palace, or, and this is powerful, the quiet despair of a woman forced to live on society's margins.
Wow.
Yeah. So that immersive style really helps connect those modern feeling issues directly to the ancient setting. Makes them feel immediate, impactful for you.
That makes sense. Now, one thing the review really emphasizes, you mentioned women on the margins there, is the powerful space given to female voices. How does that focus elevate the narrative? What does it add?
Oh, this is a really critical point, I think. The book apparently portrays women not just as, secondary figures or background
Right,
characters.
not just wives or mothers.
Exactly. They're shown as leaders, thinkers, and rebels in their own right. This adds just immense depth and realism.
Hmm.
It positions the book as a genuinely inclusive narrative rather than a male-centric retelling of history.
That's a significant difference.
It really is. It's not just about including female characters. It's about giving them real agency, a voice that actually shapes the story and the world.
Okay, so given how impactful this all sounds, I'm really curious about the reception. What kind of feedback did it get? In places like Goodreads, Amazon. Did that ethical vision resonate?
It certainly seems like it did. The online reviews consistently called the book things like thought-provoking, deeply moving, and timeless in its relevance. That last one pops up a lot.
Timeless relevance, yeah.
Yeah, and many people praise the author's skill in presenting these, difficult social truths without sounding preachy.
That's a hard balance to strike.
Very hard. And they loved how it bridges that mythical past with the urgent questions of today's world. That ability to connect across time seems to be a major takeaway for readers.
That's really strong praise. Were there any common criticisms, though? Anything that maybe offered a slightly different angle?
Yeah, there were a few things mentioned, though it sounds like they were generally seen as minor. Some critics felt the episodic structure could occasionally feel disjointed.
Okay, I can see how that might happen with interconnected stories.
Right, and maybe a few stories echo similar themes a bit too closely for some.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, the general consensus seems to be that these structural points don't really take away from the main impact. The book's core message, its profound vision that shines through with clarity.
Got it. So wrapping this up then, what does this deep dive into Once Upon a Time in Bharatha Desham really tell us? It sounds like more than just a good read. It's a literary gem with this powerful ethical core.
I think it really reminds us that history, mythology, these old stories,
Yeah.
they aren't just about the past. They're like mirrors that reflect our present and shape our future.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. Mahesh N. Kotekar seems to have crafted something that really connects with readers looking for meaning, for reflection, and for, well, a courageous look at the truths we inherit.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a must-read for anyone interested in that intersection of culture, conscience, creative writing, or even just Indian history and epic storytelling.
Definitely. So as we finish up here, maybe something to think about is how these ancient narratives like the ones in this book can still hold up a mirror to our own societies today.
Yeah.
What are those inherited truths that you see around you in your world that maybe still need some courageous questioning, perhaps even a new vision for how things could be?